Imagine losing your husband, only to have his mother turn the entire church against you and your teenage daughters. Now, picture this six churchwomen cornering your crying daughter in public, shaming her over her father's secret affair babies. That's what happened to me. But instead of breaking, I decided to fight back. And let's just say my ex-mother-in-law will never show her face in church again. My name is Sarah. I'm 46 and a single mom to two teenage daughters, 17 and 15. Life hasn't been easy since my husband died in a tragic accident last year. And before you think this is a story about grief alone, let me clarify my husband was cheating on me before he died. Yeah, that gut punch revelation came when my daughters themselves discovered messages, photos, and eventually two baby boys he fathered with his mistress. Then fate struck again. That woman, the affair partner, also passed away in the same accident, leaving behind two little boys. My husband's parents, my ex-in-laws, decided that was my problem. They tried to guilt trip my daughters into being good big sisters to these boys, and when that failed, they went to court to try and rip custody of my daughters from me. On top of that, they wanted to move in with us, which, let me tell you, was never going to happen. Already, the tension was unbearable. My daughters were in therapy trying to process betrayal, grief, and trauma. But then my mother-in-law escalated things to a level I never thought possible. It was my youngest's birthday weekend. I wanted her to have a carefree day at the farmer's market, spending a little budget on sweets, chocolates, just being a kid again. But after an hour of shopping, my phone rang. My daughter's voice was trembling. I rushed there with my older daughter, heart pounding, and what I found? 6 older women church ladies surrounding my crying child. Their words were like knives. Why are you so unchristian? Your poor grandparents just want to love you. What kind of monster refuses to be a big sister to orphan babies? These weren't strangers. I recognized them from my ex-in-law's church, and they weren't just guilting her. They were berating, cornering, attacking her spirit. My protective instincts roared to life. I shoved myself between them and my daughter, ordered my eldest to take her sister to the car, and then I turned to these so-called holy women. They sputtered, clutched their pearls, called me unchristian. Eventually, security asked us all to leave. But those women followed me like vultures, hissing insults right up to my car. That night, after putting my daughters to bed, I sat in the dark, shaking, furious, and determined, because I had finally connected the dots. My ex-mother-in-law was behind this. Sure enough, a church acquaintance confirmed it. My ex-male had written a tear-jerking post on the church's Facebook page, claiming I had abandoned her and left her homeless and penniless, that my daughters were unchristian and cruel, that those poor orphan boys had been stolen from her because of us. But the most disgusting lie, she told the church that my husband's affair children weren't the product of cheating at all. According to her, they were from a surrogate since I couldn't bear more children, and she claimed I rejected them because they were boys. The audacity. But here's the thing about their church. They may overlook a lot, but cheating, adultery, that is the one sin they do not tolerate. And my ex-male had just created the perfect storm for me to expose her. The turning point, my plan for revenge the next day. I took every piece of evidence from my half-finished divorce, photos of my husband kissing his mistress in our living room, screenshots of their texts, him confessing love, him mocking me behind my back, messages from his parents supporting the affair, and the nastiest ones, the texts and emails where they bullied my daughters, calling them bastards, even saying it was their fault their father died. I didn't just print them, I made them beautiful, high quality, glossy pages, and then I compiled them into neat church-like hymn binders. And on the front page, a photo of my husband and his mistress kissing, captioned, "The next Sunday." I slipped those binders into the back of the church where the spare hymnals are kept, and then I walked away. When the service started, the gossip mill exploded. People flipped open what they thought were hymnals, only to find undeniable proof of my ex's betrayal and his parents' complicity. Phones started buzzing, murmurs spread like wildfire, and by that evening, the church's Facebook page looked like a battlefield. The pastor himself had to intervene because the comments were so vicious. My ex-in-laws, once seen as victims, were now pariahs. Members condemned them for enabling adultery and for abusing my daughters. The irony? Some still judged me for divorcing, but even they excused it, saying, well, it's understandable after the shock she endured. Meanwhile, apology letters arrived for my girls, and even an invitation for us to come back to the church for support. But my ex-in-laws, they couldn't show their faces there again, shunned, shamed, outcast by the very community they had weaponized. When I saw my ex-male's final Facebook post crying about how the elderly are abandoned and how her great son would have taken care of her, I actually laughed. Because her great son, the man she put on a pedestal, he betrayed his family, humiliated his wife, traumatized his daughters, and she enabled it all. You know, revenge doesn't heal the wounds of betrayal. My daughters still grieve. I still have nights where the anger keeps me awake. But when you're pushed beyond your limits, when someone tries to destroy your children, you fight back. And sometimes justice is as simple as holding up a mirror and forcing people to see the truth.